Good afternoon, everyone. I wanted to take a second and have you all imagine this. What if every time you shared what you believed in, people rolled their eyes at you, insulted you, or even threatened you? What if the place where you go to find peace and community, like a church, temple, or even just gathering with people who believe like you, suddenly became a place of fear? For many people today, this is reality. Faith, belief, and even speaking your truth have become targets for criticism, hate, and sometimes violence. Recently, we've seen this through the shootings connected to religious spaces like the ones at the LDS Church and the attack on Charlie Kirk. These events highlight how dangerous it can be when people refuse to respect differences. My goal today is simple. I want to persuade you that people should be able to practice their faith, share their beliefs, and speak the truth without being attacked, silenced, or looked down upon. To do that, I'd first like to talk about why protecting freedom of belief is so important. Then I'd show the real consequences of attacking people for their faith, and finally, I'll talk about what we can actually do to make things better. My first point, freedom of belief is a basic human right. One of the most important values in our country, and honestly around the world, is the idea that people should be free to believe what they want. The First Amendment in the U.S. Constitution guarantees the right to freedom of religion and free speech. That means you can choose to believe in Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Buddhism, Hinduism, or not believe in anything at all. And at the same protection that covers me covers you too. But here's the thing, that right doesn't mean much if people feel too scared to use it. If speaking your truth or living out your faith just makes you a target for bullying, judgment, or even violence, then we're failing to live up to the freedom we claim to value. Think about it. Would you really feel free if every time you expressed what you believed in, you were afraid someone would attack you? Freedom doesn't exist just on paper. It has to be respected in everyday life. My second point, attacking people for their faith has real and dangerous consequences. Unfortunately, we don't have to imagine what will happen when that respect disappears. We've seen attacks on people for their faith, like shooting at the church, like I mentioned before, and the whole thing with the Charlie Kirk. These aren't just isolated events. Religion-based hate crimes are on the rise. According to the FBI, data over 1,200 incidents in 2022 were directly linked to religion. When people attack others for their faith, it doesn't just hurt the people who were targeted, it spreads fear throughout the entire communities. People stop feeling safe where they should feel most supported. And it doesn't matter what the faith is, when one group gets attacked, it sends a message that no belief is really safe. And let's be honest, violence never solves disagreements. You don't have to disagree with someone's beliefs to respect their right to hold them. But when respect turns into hate and hate turns into violence, we all lose something. My third point, we can choose to respect and understand instead of hate. Here's the hopeful part. This isn't something we're all powerless against. Change starts with us, even small actions matter. First, we can practice respect even when we don't agree. You don't have to believe what someone else believes to show them basic human dignity. Listen instead of judging goes a long way. Second, we can stand up against the hate speech. If we hear someone bashing others just because of their faith, we can speak out or at least make it clear we don't support that behavior. We can create a safer place for conversation about belief. This means being willing to have open discussions without turning them into arguments. It also shows support when communities are targeted, whether that's attending interfaith events, volunteering, or even checking in on friends with different backgrounds. Research shows interfaith discussions increases tolerance and reduces prejudice between groups. Respect doesn't just mean that we all have to believe the same thing. It just means we have to recognize every person deserves the right to speak their truth without fear. So, in conclusion, let's go back to the picture that I painted at the start. Imagine being afraid to say what you believe in. Now, imagine a different picture. One where you can stand up, speak out, share your faith, or even say, I don't believe in anything. And know that people might not agree, but they'll respect you anyways. That's the kind of world we should want. A world where freedom of belief is real, not just on paper. A world where violence and hate don't control the conversation. A world where we choose understanding, compassion, and respect over judgment and attack. I'll leave you with this. The next time you hear someone share a belief that's different from yours, pause before you judge. Remember that respecting their right to speak their truth is a part of what keeps us all free. And maybe, just maybe, if more of us did that, the world would start to feel a little bit safer for everyone. Thank you.
Yay!
Hi,
Nailed it. Let's go, guys.
yeah.
Holy, my freaking breath is